Thank you so much to my dear beloved Talmud, Rabbi Purton, for your kind words. Your dedication to Harbatzas HaTorah is so inspiring. I remember, I guess, a year and a half ago when you called me and you told me about this brainchild that you had. And, I thought it was an amazing idea, but I didn't see how, how you would be able to, with such skill, implement it. And now here we are at the national round of Mishnah Biyadi, and to have such an impact on so many Bachrim, Chashuva Bachrim around the country is truly amazing, and I'm shepping amazing, tremendous nachas from you, Rabbi Yisrael. So this is a great day. The national round, to get to this occasion, I'm sure speaks to all of the Talmidim here is Hasmada and Abbas HaTorah. And it's such a beautiful thing to see that Talmidim are not just satisfied with what they're learning in yeshiva, but they want to do more, and they want to chazer, and they want to learn, and they want to gain more and more mishnayos. And I'll tell you, besides for what Rabbi Purton said about that everyone here is winners, just to have made it to this round, and all of the starim that you're going to be receiving, Mitzvah Hashem. But I'll tell you the best schar, the best reward for what you've accomplished this far. And that is that Chazal tell us that Divrei Torah aniyim b'makayman va'ashirim b'makam acher, which means that Divrei Torah are poor in one place, but they're wealthy in a different place. What does that mean? What does Chazal mean when they say this? If you're learning one Gemara, let's say it's your first Gemara in Elam Mitzias, the first Mishnah that you learn, the first Amud, so you're taking it in and you're understanding it to the ability that you have to understand it. But let's say you would be able to know many more Mishnayos across the entire spectrum of Shas. Or let's say you'd be able to know many more Gemaras throughout Shas. Then every single Gemara that you learn becomes wealthier, because now you're not just focused on the Gemara or the Mishnah in front of you. You're able to see the panorama, the entire view, the bird's eye view of Shas. And as soon as you do that, now it's rich, because now you're going to say, wait a minute, how could the Mishnah here say this if the Mishnah in Yadayim seems to say that? How can the Gemara in Bava Metzia say this if the Gemara in Brachas seems to not agree with that? And really, that's really what Taisus's job is, right? On every blot in Shas, there's Taisus Sen, and Taisus really is adding great wealth to what you're learning. You're learning something locally, but he says, wait a minute, look in this Gemara. And it doesn't seem to match up, and we have to try to understand the difference between this Gemara and that Gemara, and that's what the Rishonim deal with, and that's what the Achrayim on top of the Rishonim deal with. So when a person is focused very locally, it's poor, meaning it's not, you don't really have enough of a basis to really truly get deeper into the Gemara. But once you begin to master, as you did, so many Masechtas and Shas, Mishnayos and Amir Hashem Gemara, now suddenly everything is going to be that much richer. Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, writes in his title page, the first opening page of his Pirush on Chumash called Taima Dekra. He writes in that title page that the purpose for his sefer is because of this Chazal, Aniyim b'mekayman v'ashim makam acher. What Reb Chaim Kanievsky does in his brilliance and his mastery of Shas and of Kol HaTorah Kula is he takes a pasuk and then he says, but how does that match up with something else? And he brilliantly weaves an entire chiddush based on his unique ability to see things from a broader perspective. There's a Sfas Emes on a pasuk in Parshas Truma speaking about the menorah. It says, "V'asisa menorahs zav tar." You have to make in the Mishkan a menorah of pure gold, miksha, it has to be banged out from one piece of gold. Tasa menorah, that's how you're supposed to make the menorah. So the Sfas Emes says that the menorah, if we could picture what a menorah in the Mishkan looks like, it has 3 branches on one side, 3 branches on the other side, and they all face towards the middle. So the Sfas Emes says, you know what those 6 branches are? It's Shisha Sidrei Mishnah. You have Shas, and all of the Mesechtas of Shas, all the starim of Mishnayos and Gemaras are all facing towards the middle. You know what the middle is? Torah Shebechsav. Torah Shebechsav is the Chumash and Navi and Ksuvim, and all of Shas faces towards it. And I wanted to say the reason why the menorah is Zav, it has to be pure gold, is because when you have all of the 6 starim of Shas in your hands, when it's Mishnah Biyadi, then you have wealth. You're the wealthiest person in the world because Divrei Torah are ashirim b'makam acher. If you're able to understand all of Shas and know it and master it and chazer it and own it, then you're the richest person in the world. There's no one richer than you because now everything that you learn, you're not just looking at it locally like the rest of the world does. You're able to see it in the total broad perspective, and you are now in such an enviable position to really master Kol HaTorah Kula. And really, this is what Mishnah Biyadi, I think, is really gearing you towards. Don't think that this is just the end. This national round is the end. This is just the beginning. This is just something to whet your appetite so that you could take it to the next level and know many, many more Mishnayos and many more Sidrei Shas. And then in Mitzvah Hashem to master Shas itself, Gemara, all of the many, many thousands of Dafim and Shas. If you're able to take this amazing program of Mishnah Biyadi and never stop, just keep on going, then I'm looking not at people that are merely about to contest a local, for these several Mishnayos that you're amazingly mastering, but I'm looking at future of Chaim Kanievskis. You're all people that are amazingly gifted to have learned it to begin with, to chazer, to be able to be tested on it. Your parents must be shepping tremendous nachas, your grandparents, and Klal Yisrael are shepping tremendous nachas because it shows how you are the future of Klal Yisrael. You are going to go so far, la'ela la'ela, you're going to be not just aniyim b'mekayman, but ashir b'makam acher. Mitzvah Hashem, you should all be very, very matzliach, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my words.